think we're go. Let me check. I see music, I see mic. Let me know if you can hear me. Hello? I'm back, etc. Thank you, JB. Hello, JB. Hello, Scarlett. Nice to see you. Wow. Been a while. Well, 2 weeks. Maybe 3? I don't remember. Yeah, so we can hear you. Good stuff. All right. The good news is the pie hole has no effect on the stream because I'm. It's been yes, it's been a variable number of weeks. Yeah, so I'm going through the pie hole for DNS on this computer now, and I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to do anything weird with the stream, and so far I think it's fine. So yay pie hole. Where do we start to catch up? Well, I'm not going to go into detail because the details are gross, but I had dental surgery. Not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before that. And it was, the actual surgery went fine. The recovery process has been longer than expected because it's basically worst case scenario. So I'm actually still in the healing process. I'm still in pain, but I got to get back to it because this is going to be the last building period before the holiday break. So I did to work on my pie hole. What is he? I think I can bring it into camera. Watch me like completely shut off the entire internet. There we go. Just getting it into camera frame. Look at that. Look at that cute little pie hole. Look at that. It's a nice little 3D printed case and everything. That's the pie hole. It's currently the entire internet is being filtered through that little box right now. I worked on all my pie hole while doing work on a pie hole. You're not wrong. That's what I did like last week as I was in real recovery and didn't feel up to I figured you had to like Frankie's insert. You know, maybe soon I need to at some point I gotta talk to my dentist and go, look, this is not like I'm more filling than man at this point. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get something interesting. But yeah, so that's what I did last week as I was in recovery was I went down a Linux rabbit hole and got a bunch of stuff working that I've been tinkering with but never really had the time to focus on. So I've gone kind of nuts with the self-hosting stuff. If you've been on the Gizmo Town channel on the Discord, then you probably know that. But yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on Linux-wise. I got a whole new Linux machine. I got another Raspberry Pi. There's a whole thing. Pi hole's pretty universal for both. Yes. Yeah, it is. Yeah, no, I've heard. Shut your pie hole. Frankie would say, "Shut your pie hole." See. But we're back-ish. I haven't done a lot of building this weekend. I planned on getting back to it this week, and honestly, my head's been so in the Linux mines, and I was making such good progress, and I had something I wanted to finish, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna do a little prep for the stream, but today is the first day I'm actually like solid hardcore back to puppet building. So that's by way of saying we have some things to show off, 3D printed wise. We are currently 3D printing. Let me see if I can do this. Well, I've set up a new camera thing here. Let's see. So we're gonna go to the shoulder cam. Now this is the normal, like, you know, over the shoulder shuttering, but if I hit this button, you should see, hey, look at that. We got the camera feed from the Octoprint server is coming in, and that's now like, so it's the shoulder cam replacement. So for example, if I go to, we can go away. If we're on the top cam here, for example, instead of seeing the shoulder cam, I can go bonk, and then we could have the Octopi camera come in and Octoprint camera. The Octoprint is running on the Octopi because that's the OS I installed for it. But anyway, it's cool. I like this. This is neat. All these things, and this is all being run off of open source Linux stuff, and so it's cool. I'm digging it. I like this. I like everything about this. Mini pies. Yeah, I've got 2 so far, and you know that's not going to be the last. I think I'm going to be one of those people that just gets like a billion Raspberry Pis. This I forgot. This I knew I was going to forget something before the stream. This is the mask mic that I was just charging up to make sure we had some juice on that. Let me just put that back. I'm going to go back here because I'm not done my coffee yet and we're still chatting. But yeah, how you all doing? I hope. Is it pi or pi? Oh, PI, because it's Raspberry Pi, like the mathematical thing. Math. The radius of a circle is divisible into its circumference or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. Look, I'm streaming and trying to do maths at the same time. You can tell I've been listening to a lot of Matt Parker because I just said maths plural instead of math singular, because in North America it's math singular, and in the UK and Australia it's maths plural. But yes, Gina, the maintainer and current absolute everything of Octoprint, did put out a call a couple weeks ago to because she was facing some pretty serious financial situations. Octoprint is what she does full time, and the donations have been dropping pretty seriously. So she sent out a call saying, "Hey, problems bad. I'm gonna have to look at something else." And she wants to keep doing Octoprint because it's incredibly useful. Oh, new follower, Drew 2002. Thank you. Hello, Drew. And the community responded. But Gina then put up another post saying, "Y'all are amazing because things seem to be okay now." So good. I use Octoprint every day, and I support Gina on Patreon. So absolutely, if you use Octoprint, get involved with the community and if financially if you can, because it's well worth it. It completely changes how you use your 3D printer. Oh boy. Okay, we got 9 people already, according to the number that I see, which is always wrong, so who knows. I'm sure at least 4 of those people are Scarlet. We can show off a couple things. Speaking of 3D printing, hey, look, it's a segue. I can show a couple of things I've been working on. I don't think we showed the new eyebrow mech. I think I was working on that just before all of the dental stuff went down. So let's have a look at that first. Close-up cam is probably the best for this. Yeah, there we go. Okay. We don't need the shoulder cam, so we can have a look at the pie hole. Not the pie hole, the Octoprint server. And that's just the camera feed, right? That's just. It's the frame rate's kind of crappy because the camera frame rate that on an Octoprint by default is not great, but you don't need it to be that great because it's just that, right? So I gotta come up with a better position for the camera though. That's not ideal, but we'll figure that out. Anyway, so oh, this is the wrong one. I got the wrong one. You know that I've been struggling with the very first thing that I tried to do with my new 3D printer, which is no longer new, is come up with a solution for eyebrow mechs, because that's always a real pain in the butt. And the whole goal with the eyebrow mech thing was to eliminate or reduce the need to bend wire, because you can never do it easily or evenly. The 3D printed gantry mount for the camera. So I'm using one that's meant for an ender, and it's a little bit loose, but I just stuck some Velcro-y stuff in there, and it's fine. It's just the position that it wants to be in by default is that, and I have to move it somewhere else. That's all. I can go up with something, and if there isn't anything out there, I'll design it and print it myself. But welcome to that level of doing things for yourself. It's great. So anyway, yeah. So I tried a couple things. They're kind of buried. I can show what I did. I got one going. Yeah, they're not really accessible. I got one going that I have already used that you still need to bend the wire, but the actual arcs for the eyebrows were 3D printed, and that worked great. But I wanted to go further. I wanted to have like a much more functional mech where I didn't have to bend wire at all. That was the goal, was just to eliminate the bending of wire. And I fiddled and I fiddled and I fiddled, and I eventually came up with this. And this, I think, is the Cadillac gold standard for my eyebrow mechs now. So here's the actual eyebrow part. This ring, so this is what goes inside, and this ring is what you use. You know, there's the actual mech part of it. This is actually all printed in place. That ring gets 3D printed right onto the thing, and there's little supports in there. You just got to go in and clean them out, and then there you go. But the neat part is the actual eyeball. So I can use this is designed for a 55 millimeter ping pong ball. So you can use that, and you can just, you know, make the hole through the middle of the ping pong ball as usual. Then what you would do is cut a slit between the two holes and kind of feed it on so the ball is, you know, I should have got one prepared, but I didn't think of that. And then you just glue that in as you would normal for this kind of wire bent mech. But I went one further and I designed this. So what we have here is this is slightly more than half a sphere, right? So it's half a sphere and then a little bit on the end. And we've got this kind of socket situation going on back here. So we have a point for the axle, and then we have these four holes back here which hold this retaining ring, right? So then what you do is you mount this like that. Show that, there we go. And then you glue the retaining ring, and you just line up the holes with these little pegs. It's not absolutely perfect, but it's close enough. You can get in there with some glue and just glue it down. Right, so the retaining ring will hold it on. This is hard to do with one hand. There we go. Yeah, so the retaining ring holds it on. And then we've got this, it's hard to hold together and make work, but there we go. Look at that. Huh? What do you think of that? Perfect. I mean, I don't think this could get better. Right? And then the great thing about this is, because of how this works, because you just got this like retaining ring on the back, you don't need to cut a hole all the way through the head. You could theoretically mount this after you've put the skin on. You could just like shave the spot, cut a hole for the control rod to go in, but you can just like glue this on the exterior as long as the control rod has a place to go inside. I mean, there we go. I mean, how good is this? This is the primo eyebrow mech. I've never seen anything better than this. This is gold. So yeah, this is the current gold standard. And again, I could use this with a regular ping pong ball and just cut a slit in the ping pong ball and then feed that around. But this is even better. Of course, what you have to do then is we have to sand down and smooth the print lines on the eyeball itself. But let me tell you, this is the way. No more, and no wire bending at all. No wire at all. I print this part with an almost 100% infill, so it's good and strong. But other than that, I mean, come on. This is great. So this is the new eyebrow mech, and it's only going to get better from here. I got plans for other things. So with using this principle, we can do like individual shells for actual eyelids rather than just an eyebrow. There's a whole bunch of things we can. Let me tell you, internet. So that was the first thing, and of course, what I'm using the 3D printer stuff for is just solving existing problems, right? And what are the problems that puppet builders face? Well, here's another good example, the 3D printed mouth plates, right? The problem I was facing here was that it was possible for the finger loop to pull away and break. So as I've demonstrated before, I came up with this little bracket that's mounted, that's like part of the mouse plate itself, and then we just sew a leather loop into there, and it's super strong. And this is the new thing. I've been embossing top or bottom. There we go. Wrong one. See, it's B for bottom. So there was another problem that's been solved by 3D printing, right? Let me introduce you now to the most recent solved problem after I get some coffee. Oh, yeah. It's been a whole, like, there's been a lot of, not as much 3D printing stuff as I wanted last week, because last week was all Linux services and stuff, but there's been, as you can tell, I've been thinking about this, because I mean, look at this. Oh, so here we go. There is a consistent joke. It's not a joke that puppet builders hate building hands. And it is true. Why do we hate building hands? Because they're fiddly, right? There's a lot to them. There are several ways to make the kind of infrastructure that goes inside the hand. There's several ways to make it the mounting point for the arm rod. There's several ways to do the twisted wire for wire armature so the fingers are posable. None of them are particularly quick or easy. All of them are fiddly and annoying to make. And you have to do it a lot because, you know, every puppet's got at least 3 fingers. So it's a lot. So what I did was I determined to do kind of the same thing I did with the eyebrow mech and go, well, let's reduce the number of steps that we need to take to achieve the same goal. So what I've got here, these are small because these are designed for the humans. You're not going to be able to see this at all. It looks just like a little disc to you. These are hand plates. Now let's go to the close-up camera. I'm going to show you what I'm thinking here. I've just printed these. I haven't actually used these yet. So today is going to be the first actual trial run of using them for real. It's going to be a little hard to see because I printed them in black. It just happened to be with the filament that was in the printer. But what I did was I took, so here's the hand that we're going to put these in. And I took the pattern and I scanned it in. And then I made this little hand plate that's going to go inside like that. And so what we've got here, it's going to kind of like that, is each of these little tubes. Put this in a place where you can see it. Each of these, they make hand plates great again, yeah. Each of these little tubes, it's a little hollow tube, like a little socket, basically. And they line up, well, this is probably the wrong hand. It probably goes this way. Let's see. Is that better? Yes, that's better. So each of these more or less lines up with a finger, right? Dun, dun, dun. And then what we do is for each finger, we just take our twisted wire, and I've shown how to do this before, using a hand drill and a vise. And then we just glue the twisted wire into the little socket, cut it to the right length, bend it over so we don't have a little sharp end, and that's it. That's it. You're done. Finger done. And then we've got this other socket that's a bit bigger. Excuse me while I grab a... Where are all of my arm rods? Oh, there they are. So when you go to mount the arm rod, that just goes in this socket here. And that's it. You just glue the sandwich together and you're done. It is. It's a matter of reducing the number of steps, right? So this is what we're going to try for the next few builds. I thought I saw something pop up that was maybe a follower. I'm sorry if I missed that. Hello, whoever you are. Welcome. So yeah, these are the new hand plates. So I printed up a bunch of them because I'm making, from now until the holiday break, is going to be nothing but Human puppets. I got some bits cut out for the next one. I'm going to do a new head design. I'm probably not going to get to that today. I'd like to save that for the stream, but I may not be able to just for time's sake. But yeah, David something or other. Thank you. Hello, David something or other. Nice to see you. Welcome. But anyway, yeah. So there are the new hand plates that I'm going to be trial running in the next batch of humans. What will Amazon at the dollar store do now that their main consumer of flexible cutting boards has pivoted to 3D printing? It's true. I'm still using them occasionally, but honestly, like my need for that kind of stuff has almost been eliminated. Like I can make flexible mouse plates for the Greeblies on the 3D printer with the built-in bracket for the finger loops. I'm currently that's what's printing right now is some more mouse plates for the next humans. Yeah, I know. The era of the cutting board may be over. And these don't take long to print either, which is the nice part. The mouse plates take a lot longer. This, like a batch of 4 of these took like maybe half an hour, or something like that. Again, plan ahead, make them in batches, and you're good. So there we go. That's the new hand plates. I'm excited to see how this is going to go. It may be terrible. I haven't actually used these yet. I can't imagine how it would be. This seems like a no-brainer once you've got this. And I'll refine this eventually. The other kind of iteration I'm thinking of doing for this is, instead of just making excuse me, a socket for the arm rod to glue into, of doing a bigger hand plate and doing like a little pocket basically, and making the flag style semi-removable arm rods. That would take a considerably longer to print, and I think there might be a problem with that much surface area and supports. These don't need supports. These are fine. These little holes print up just fine. But for something as large as like a 1-inch flag, that might be a little too large, but we'll see. My voice is going already because I haven't streamed for weeks and therefore haven't been talking this much. I have lozenges ready to go. It's like having elves as a goblin. Yes, it's true. Just let it print overnight. The neat part about the print that's currently going is, I don't know if you can tell, it started out, I had a little bit of black filament that was left. Wasn't enough to get through the whole print, and I knew that, so I started printing it, and then when the black filament ran out, I replaced it, but I just replaced it with white, because I've got lots of white. And these are mouse plates. They go inside anyway. You never see these, so it doesn't matter. So these are going to be two-tone. They're going to be black on the bottom and white on the top. That'll be neat to look at. But yeah, so the question is, now what? Now I'm going to have some more coffee and let the lozenge take effect because my throat is, you can tell I'm losing my voice already. I'm going to stick it out. I don't care. Maybe listening to me whispering or typing by the end of it. But yeah, that's the other thing I've got to get used to is, like, changing filament mid-print. It's very easy with Octoprint, let me tell you. You hit pause, you change the filament, you hit go. Done. Yeah, Octoprint, good. Thank you, Gina. I can never remember Gina's last name because it's got one of those characters in the middle of it that's like Scandinavian, some kind of, I think she's German actually. I don't remember. I'm sorry. I apologize. But I don't know how to pronounce it. So I know that her first name is Gina, and then she goes by she, her. So thank you, Gina. You'll never see this, so it doesn't really matter. But anyway. Yes, I don't know how to pronounce that. The thing that Jamie just put into chat. But Gina's very, very nice. We've chatted a little bit, and I'm glad she had COVID recently. She's just getting over that. This was after the Octoprint financial issue. Things seem to be better now, but yeah, I'm following her on Mastodon, so yeah, Gina's great. She did an interview a couple of years ago now with Will Smith and Brad Shoemaker on the Foss Pod. That is very, very good. Go listen to that if you're at all interested in open source projects or 3D printing or anything like that. Gina did a really good interview. I can barely follow half the stuff that she says because she's so good at the technical stuff that I just have no clue what she's talking about. But it's still nice to listen to. Yeah, we will have to ask a European. True. Seth, get on that. How do you pronounce that? So now what? Well, it's one of those situations where the thing that needs to be done next is everything. So it doesn't really matter where I start. I gotta put some heat shrink on some arm rods, so let's start with that. Might as well. It's as good a place as any. Move this mouse out of the way here. Apparently it's pronounced Hoyska. Hoyska. Okay. Oh, did she put up a pronunciation thing? Yes, excellent. Thank you. See, Gina's ahead already. Hoyska. Gina Hoyska. Hello, Gina Hoyska. Okay, heat shrink. You've seen this before if you've been following the stream at all. I'm sorry, I know it's boring, but it's just what I gotta do. So I'm putting the fan on just because the thing can throw up some fumes I don't like. Google says house key. Okay. I don't trust anything that Google says anymore, ever, period. Neither should you. Part of the whole push to get all the open source stuff running is I'm de-Googling my entire life. Which feels good. Okay, so when I make the arm rods, they're too long. Google's almost certainly wrong about everything. Google is no longer what Google was. So I want to take like about an inch or so off of these, because I just cut the 32-inch rods in half, and these are a little too long. So I don't really need to measure it, but I'll put a mark. Just take them down to about there. Be good. And get our bolt cutters, and we do this carefully, looking away, because this can result in little bits of metal going flying. I should be wearing eye protection. There we go. That's one. Two. Three. And there we go. I knew one was going to go flying. Where did that go? I know it's on the table, so it's okay. I'll find it later. These I am putting in the sharps container because they're little sharp bits of metal. You don't want those floating around loose in the garbage. Oops. Knock stuff on the floor. And here's a perfect demonstration how to get metal in your eyes. Yes, it's true. Be careful. If you squeeze too hard, that's when you get the thing flying away. If you just kind of slowly go at it, you should be able to kind of cut it like butter. Yeah, those will look okay. All right. So we need the heat gun. Oh, there could be a problem here. Oh, actually, it'd be fine. I just realized because of the new way I've got my table set up with the UV curing chamber, it's actually standing in the way of the outlet that I usually plug my heat gun into. But I think I can see a path. We'll sort that out in a second. We got a heat shrink. Some more heat shrink. Do I have the bigger stuff? I want to use that up. I do. Okay. All right. So next, let's see if we have a place to plug our heat gun into. That is on the infinite to-do list, is rearranging the power situation here so I have more outlets that are available, because right now everything is being used. I love this Scarlett's going all out for the pronunciation. Scarlett, did anyone ever tell you you're obsessive? In a good way, though. Looks like we're going to need more of this stuff. Oh, I just knocked a whole bunch of stuff on the floor. Excuse me, I know I'm off camera and you can't see it, but trust me, I knocked a whole bunch of stuff on the floor. All right, there we go. Okay, so first, yeah, the first before the first. So I've got some 1-inch, this is the stuff that we want to use for the handle usually, but they sent me the wrong stuff at some point. I got some, like, this is either 1.5 or 2-inch, 3/4. And this is too big for the for most of the handle. This doesn't sit nice and tight around the join, which I want. But so what I do in order to use this anyway, because it's fine for the actual handle part, it's just not fine for the join, is I cut a little piece of the smaller stuff and I use that as a kind of bridging thing. So we're going to do 4. So I'll cut these into 4. And that way I'm also not, because the 1-inch, or is this 1/2 inch? This is 1/2 inch, right? Yeah, the 1/2 inch is sometimes hard to get. So I try to use it sparingly. You'll see when I get there. You'll understand what I'm doing. There is a method to my madness. And the other thing I want to check was, when I put these arm rods together, I remember I was a little dubious about the mix of the epoxy. Actually, it seems pretty good. I wasn't sure it was quite 50-50, so the epoxy wasn't going to hold too well, but nah, these seem fine. I'm not going to worry about it. These seem okay. I couldn't pull it out, so therefore it's fine. Is it a bottle opener on your shrink wrap? I don't know where I got these. Are like garden shears or something, I think. I think these were just kicking around in our toolbox. I bet you this is my wife's for many years before we got together. So I have no idea where these came from. You got to remember, we're in Canada here. There's bottle openers on everything. Do you frequent sale electronics for heat shrink? I do not. I usually get them from, I am ashamed to say, Amazon, but if you know of a better place, yes, I will definitely look there, because I'm more than happy to not use Amazon ever. Speaking of decorporatizing your life, that's on the list. Place in Mississauga, nice. The middle bit looks like a bottle opener. I think this is more for like branches or something. This is almost like a little saw that you can put around a branch and then, I don't know, twist. I don't know. They're heavy duty crappy shears that I use for heavy duty crappy work. So let's see if there's enough. Ooh, there's the hands go flying. Let's see if I don't think there's enough here to do one, which is a shame. Oh, maybe there is. last of the roll here. There is enough. Okay, cool. Coworker use it for all sorts of electronics. There are all kinds of heat shrinks. Awesome. That's great. Thank you. I will definitely be utilizing their services. Much appreciated. All right. There's one. No, there isn't enough for two. There is enough for two. Hey. Just good news all over the place today. There's definitely not enough for three. You don't use your fabric scissors. No, I do not. Where is it? Southern Ontario only. Free shipping on orders over $45, excluding taxes. I bet you I could come up with a $45 order in heat shrink. I do like buying in bulk, so we'll be on all over that like stink on a monkey. That's not fair to monkeys. I'm sure there are some unstinky monkeys. Unless, I mean, I think as a monkey, stink is a good thing. So, you know, if you're a monkey, then that's fine. Yeah, no, I did not use the fabric scissors for cutting stuff like heat shrink. As you well know, I actually need, oh, you know what? That's a good idea for Christmas list ideas. I need new scissors. There's really no place to get them sharpened. So I think I might just get some new ones. And my good scissors are now getting to the point where they should be replaced. First time in 5 years, that's pretty good. But that's a good idea for Christmas list stuff. I can never think of anything to put on a Christmas list that normal people can find for the in-laws. Oh, okay. More coffee, more lozenge, and then we get to the heat shrink. Kind of quiet today, but I guess that's to be expected. It's first time back in a while. Excuse me. I remembered I had a mute button. We're going to power through this. The voice will recover. The only reason my voice gets like this is because I go these long periods without talking a lot. And then I go these short periods talking a lot, and it's just too much. I gotta keep my vocal cords limber. I'm an old man. Things aren't as limber as they used to be. I was at the store when you called for a European. Are there any Europeans in the house? Because we're rounding you up. Okay. Why am I talking like Gus all of a sudden? So we're going to heat shrink these, and then we're going to do the handles. So on with the heat shrink gun. I wonder if I do the close-up cam for this, it's going to get weird because it's got to point directly at me. This might be a better way of doing it, though. Let's see, how much can you see that? Yeah, actually, that's pretty good. Okay, we'll do it like this. This is what we wanted in Belgium, yeah. Yeah, there you go. There's an angle you never get to see. Here's what's behind me. Yeah. Here's my tool rack. And the deplorable state of my toolbox. Look at that. It's terrible. I should be ashamed to show that in public. There we go. Okay. Please find your head is covered by a 3D printer. It's true. It's true. I'm not worried about just seeing me. I mean, there's another camera here that looks directly at me. I don't wear these nice shirts for nothing, you know. All right, here we go. Heat shrink time. Boy, this is really exciting internet content, huh? It's like roasting marshmallows. I'll show you the gun in a second. I'm in the middle of something right now. So my heat shrink gun, this Black & Decker, just kind of comes with a little stand that you can pop up and just make it sit up like that. So that's how. Very handy. Love that you use sponge brush handles. Yes, absolutely. This is why I buy my sponge brushes in bulk. Considerably cheaper than buying dowels and then drilling holes in them. There's so much fan noise in this room right now. It's unbelievable. I got the 3D printer. I got 3 computers. I got the heat gun. It's nothing but white noise, the whole room. Do you use the actual brush? Yeah, I save all the tips. And I'll use those for like spreading glue or paint or whatever. I got a whole drawer full of just the heads. You can even carve little features like little eye bags and something out of them. They're just foam, right? So yes, always recycle whatever you can. All right, now we're gonna let those cool for a second, then we'll get on with the handles. So, how you doing? More coffee. Hey, the voice is recovering. See, I told you it would recover. I'm at I'm out of coffee. I got more. I could go get more. I'm gonna go get more coffee. While these cool, I'm gonna get more coffee. We'll be right back. Stick around. And we're back. Coffee. In the last ever of these mugs. I will get more at some point, but I won't order them from the same place I got these from. I'm terrified that this handle's going to come off like the other one did. Be careful if you've got an Operation Puppet mug. Apparently the batch I got isn't the most reliable. It didn't do it. The handle didn't come off mine until I had been using it in the microwave a whole bunch. So maybe that affected it. But so I would advise not putting your Operation Puppet mug in the microwave. I guess. I don't know. I think they're not great quality. We'll do some research before the next batch and get better ones. Okay, back to arm rods. Close-up cam. I gotta tell you, I never thought I'd use the close-up cam, and I use it all the time now. I guess that makes sense, because you want to see what I'm doing, and so we gotta do it close-up. So what I'm gonna do for these is, because this is a little too big to go snug around the join, is I just make these little collars out of the snug stuff, and then I put those like that, and then I put the wider stuff around the top, and this just kind of holds, gives a little bit of extra strength. It's handy, and that way I can use the stuff that they sent me wrong without having to get into a whole thing. Hopefully the new heat shrink place will be better than Amazon, which is not going to be hard to do. So we want to go about there-ish. Like so. Okay. Don't put your puppets in the microwave either. No, don't put your puppets in the microwave. Especially not the hands, because they got metal in them.
That's the most tender bit of the puppet.
I think I'm going to puppet hand for dinner.
Free fireworks, yeah. I did that once. Put a coffee mug in the microwave and didn't realize it had like a gold foil or something around the rim. Just hadn't tweaked that would be actual metal. Oops. It was definitely some free fireworks. It was really a salad because, yeah, well, that's my kind of Richard O'Brien, like,
You've arrived on a very auspicious night. It's one of the master's affairs.
it's a little oracly, actually. I mean, the Oracle's got a bunch of, the Oracle is mostly the monarch. Okay. Here we go with the hand. Let's get this back to where it belongs. There we are.
I've been blogging!
Yes. See? Ask and you shall receive. All right, here we go. I really should get back to blogging.
The Oracle has spoken.
What I should get back to is more Oracle. You said that in time for the gift, I just say, yeah, it's nice. So you see there, that's what the little collar thing does. It just provides a nice little connection point, all right, for the handle. That's all. Jamie's around and I get hoist that rag stuck in my head. Funny thing that. Oh no, Jamie's posting Hoist That Rag lyrics in chat. Look out. Tom Waits is in the house. And done. So I'm going to let those cool for a bit, and then we move to the next thing. Let's go back to this camera. Yeah, so I was looking at my Plex server recently because I'm trying to use it a bit more. Again, not relying on corporate platforms as much. And I was looking at what Tom Waits stuff I actually own as opposed to just stream. And I do have Hoist That Rag. Like, I got the whole album, but it's not the version of Hoist That Rag that we usually listen to. It's a much calmer, more gentle version. I gotta find the version that we listen to and buy it, and then own it, because that's the superior version. There is a much calmer version. It's not as produced. That's the thing, right? I think it's just kind of him and a couple of studio musicians noodling around, right? It doesn't sound like it's like a fully produced song. So Tom's like that a lot. You'll find a lot of those like weird alternate tracks. There's a live album, a couple of live albums, I think it's Big Time, where he just like will start a song and go, no, that was no good, and then he'll just start it again. He didn't like the take, so it just like does it again. It's great. I know it doesn't have the person beating a dumpster for percussion. That's another Tom Waits signature, right? It's just like found instruments, just like bring that bucket over here and hit it, and that's the drums now. Good stuff. We like. So what is next? I think we're bring a rooster into the booth. Yes, exactly. I think we're up to Danger Honey. I think it's Danger Honey. Oh no, we're not. We gotta make some finger loops. No, finger loops is next. Yeah, more lozenges. I've been talking like Tom Waits, so we have to add some more lozenges. So first, I'm going to put the heat gun away and knock things over and get in the way of the camera. You know, all the usual stuff. All right, heat gun goes back on its rack, taking care not to touch the nozzle because it is still quite toasty. I'm going to move these aside. I have no aside with which to move. Oh, yes, I do. Here we go. Put them up here. We heat hand sewing for old times' sake. Well, you know, there is going to be some because we're going to make the finger loops for the mouth plates. So we got two sizes, big and small. And so the big ones are for like, this is when I want to go full size. And the small ones are for when I want to do like the insert, when I want to do like a lip. So, they all need them. So we're going to have to get some leather. Indie hello. Nice to see you. You're just in time for some probable hand sewing. I've often been accused of hand sewing, but it's never been proven. So we're just going to cut some. These need to be quite thin for the brackets. So we're just going to cut. We have to eyeball it and then trim as needed. I do remember, though, that we want these to be 3.5. Well, let's do this first, Kevin. Pay attention. And then I want 4 of these. JB's on the Hoist That Rag evangelizing. One thing I've recently got running on my local network that is proving to be very useful is a little utility called MeTube, which is a YouTube downloader. You put in, I mean, there's lots of these, but this is self-hosted and it's not online, so you know you can trust it. Just put in the YouTube URL and it downloads the video in the format of your choice. And then you can do things like put it on your Plex server, for example. Very handy. So it's things like the Laurie Anderson Home of the Brave video, which is no longer available anywhere in any format. Somebody put it up on YouTube, so guess what? I now have it. If I had just looked, I would have realized that I'd already marked a whole bunch of... Oh well. Oh well, future me will be thankful. So now we've got to punch some holes in either end. Let me get my wee hole punches. Yeah, it's Yoink. It's a Yoink app. We're just making some holes so we can easily stitch these together. Time to clean out my punches. But the biggest project of last week, and that I just literally completed in its final form yesterday, is my cloud storage. In the continuing effort to decorporatize the things I use every day, rather than paying for OneDrive or Dropbox or any of that crap. Still want cloud storage, don't want to pay for it. The answer is to host it yourself, which I do. And I have a whole machine dedicated to it, so. Got lots of resources, and it's currently got 8 terabytes of storage space, so I ain't gonna run out anytime soon. How much would that cost me, Dropbox? Okay, so now we're going to feed these through and we're going to stitch these up. And I can already see we need to trim them down, which is fine. Trim them too close to the hole, just to probably pretty close to $1 billion. The great part about having the, so I'm using an application suite called Nextcloud, and the great part about it is it's not just cloud storage; it's like a full collaboration suite. So like, as those of you who have the privileged position of having access to the podcast planning channel know, we're moving our podcast notes to that and getting away from Google Docs. Fork of OneDrive, OwnCloud. Yeah, it is a fork of OwnCloud. Like most of these open source projects, I think OwnCloud got a little bit too commercial for some people's tastes, and they went and they forked it. And Nextcloud is just a little bit more feature rich. That's all. There we go. That seems like it's too big. It's pretty big. I think I might want to trim these down. I think it's too long. Well, it's probably fine for a thumb, actually, now that I think about it. It's weird. Sometimes 3.5 seems right. Sometimes it seems like it's too big. That's, you know what? 3.5 is right for thumbs, but not for any other finger. OwnCloud went nuts and started messing with license, and the community said no and forked it. Well, this is the thing about open source, right? It's like that is a possibility. Then let me tell you, the open source community is the reason that my GoXLR remains useful. Something I just discovered before the stream actually is, so the ATEM Mini, which is my video switcher that's made by Blackmagic Design, there is no Linux software for the software control of the ATEM Mini, which seems weird because they have, like, DaVinci Resolve runs on Linux. Like, they do Linux stuff. They just haven't made ATEM Mini control for it. But guess what? Open source community to the rescue. There is an open source project for ATEM Mini software control, and it works a treat. So, yay, open source. I'm becoming one of those people. I really kind of am. So much of what I use now is running on open source services or platforms that, you know, and I have no reason not to. That's the other side of it. It's like I'm literally digging out old machines and being able to make them useful again. Like the thing that's running my Nextcloud server up until yesterday was sitting under the work table collecting dust, not doing anything because I had no use for it. Now that was my cloud server, and my cloud server is fast and has tons of storage. You know, it's like, it's so good. Everything about this is good. I had to learn a bunch of new things. Oh no. Does it let ATEM work via USB under Linux? I haven't actually tried that because I already came up. I don't think that was the problem. All this does is be able to connect and send commands to the ATEM Mini, which you couldn't do directly. I'm doing that most of the time via Bitfocus Companion, but this lets me go in and, like, you know, change labels and stuff like that. But I don't think it has anything to do with the USB. This connects over the network, so. But worth a shot. Have a look. It's also still in development. It's not finished yet. I don't think it ever will be finished. So, yeah, no. It's one of those kind of things. But nevertheless, that's open source life, right? Like, that's just the way it is. And I'm seeing it. These are a little smaller than I would like them to be. I'm going to do another iteration of these that makes the brackets a bit bigger because these are a little too small. They'll be fine for this batch, but the next batch. Well, the next batch after the ones I'm printing, I'll change these up. There we go. That's got it. And these are the ones that I said were too. Yeah, these are too loose. I'm gonna take a little bit off of these. And punch some new holes. Did I put my punches away? I did. Of course I did. Because I'm tidy like that. I mean, you can tell. Look at this studio. Look at how tidy it is. Hint, it's not tidy. But that's the sign of a working studio. Shows that people are doing stuff in here. Let me tell you, I kind of wish we weren't on a break from the podcast right now, because I got so much to talk about. I've been doing so much stuff with the home lab, as it were. We could fill up a whole podcast just on that. It's like, give it time to mature. That way when we do come back in January, it'll be like, yes, everything's working perfectly. Give time for the problems to happen. Come on, you went through before. Just do it again. That's all I ask. Just do everything I want you to do. It should be that simple. Nope, it's never that simple. You don't even know what I'm talking about. You can't even see what I'm doing. What I should do is put a needle and thread through this, loop it through, and then pull it through with that, rather than trying to struggle with this nonsense that I'm doing right now. That will solve the problem. I'm just trying to feed the leather through. There we go. I think I got it. I just had to be patient. Happy little clouds, etc. There we go. There we go. I got it through. Yeah. Everything's fine now. This one's a little bigger, so that one's no problem. Okay, there we go. Now we're ready to hand sew. Hooray! Oops. Hit the wrong button. It's hand sewing time. I'm out of practice. For as many moving parts as the setup has, remarkably little goes wrong when you think about it. Considering it's just me sitting here pressing the buttons. I'm gonna put this heat shrink away so I don't knock it over. Oh. All right, loin girding for hand sewing. Let me tell you, internet. We need a needle, we need thread. Look, thread, needle, there we go. Which you can't see because it's on the wrong camera. Get a grip. So yes, as I expected, after doing the Trans Awareness Day video yesterday, flush some cockroaches out of the dark cracks. Lesson learned. Filter comments first. My new band, The Dark Cracks, yeah. Yeah, the one part of all the Nextcloud stuff I'm still kind of having trouble with, and I probably won't end up doing, is integrating an Office editing suite. Like either LibreOffice or OnlyOffice is the thing I'm looking at, but either of them, either through Collabra online service for LibreOffice, or neither of them are particularly easy is the wrong word, because none of this is easy, but they're very fiddly to get the server running and get it running reliably. And the only thing it gives you is like the ability to do like Google Docs, where it's like the editor is online. Because the desktop and mobile apps are there, you could just use them, and you could just connect to your cloud account and edit the documents that way, which is what I'm doing currently. But it would be nice to have the kind of Google Doc-ish ability to edit online, so that may or may not happen. We'll see. So I think Diablo 4 has got a bit of the leveling speed and loot drop problems right in the new season. Yeah, I agree absolutely. The speed is much better. Yeah, and the thing is, they tweaked it for seasonal characters, but I don't think they have for Eternal Realm, because I've taken my seasonal druid as far as I want to. I've done the the battle pass thing. I haven't got all of the chapters, but I don't really care about those. That's my thing with the seasonal thing. I was going to do the battle pass and that's it, and I'm fine. Because I actually prefer playing my Eternal Realm characters. So I'm back to playing Beverly on the Eternal Realm, but the leveling feels like it's much slower than it does in the seasonal, and maybe the seasonal's boosted in a way that the Eternal Realm isn't. I suspect that's true. That also is fine, because it's the Eternal Realm, so these are the characters that I'm going to put the time into, right? So I don't really care if it's taking a while. But yeah, I agree. Diablo 4 they're getting there. The changes they're doing are good, and I'm kind of back. It hasn't got its hooks like 3 ever did, but it might yet get there. So we should actually group up again. We haven't played together, me and the guys, the usual crew, in a long time, in months, right? Like, we should probably look at that, especially as the holidays are coming up. Some days I feel like Cinderella. Well, I'm trying to think of a good joke, and it's just, we could go like, in the original, well, in one version of the original story, wasn't it that the slippers were made of squirrel fur or something? I can't remember. There's some really weird Cinderella stuff out there. Bungie poured gas on themselves. This is the right time. Yeah, I heard. So yeah, Bungie. So I know they had a bunch of layoffs, like everybody else. But yeah, it seemed I haven't obviously followed the Destiny news that closely, but it doesn't seem like it's a happy camp at the time being. Not that it ever really is, but it seems worse than usual. No way I haven't tripped on the ball or anything like that. Yeah. All right, there's one of 4. What's our time? Where are we at here? 12:20. Hey, wow, we're getting there. I'm sorry, every stream it seems like I'm sitting here doing finger loops. I'll try and make something special for next week. This is just what I'm building. So the longish term plans for, because we're in November now, so we're kind of looking at year's end wrap up. I usually don't put anything new on the shop starting in the first week of December, just because people are buying for Christmas presents,
And obviously, nobody can guarantee delivery by Christmas if you get too close to Christmas. So, if people are buying for Christmas presents, I like there to if they're buying last minute, there's not going to be anything for them to buy, right? And then I take kind of a break, but I don't really. I usually just build and build and build. I just don't put it up on the shop, and that way, when we come back in January, there's lots of new stuff for the shop. That is currently the working plan. Plan better. Oh yeah, no, it's true. Believe me, I haven't ever really had that problem, but I just want to avoid it being a problem. So there will be, hopefully, build streams throughout the holiday season, because I will still be building. I do have, of course, more of the eternal dental work nonsense coming up, so that will all be dependent on that, but, you know. Yeah, well, see, the thing in Indies Keep is, like, it's, like I keep saying, mostly these build streams now are just whatever I happen to be working on at the time, because this is part of me building for the shop, right? I will do the occasional one that's like special or answering viewer questions or whatever, but most of the time this is just me doing my daily work. So we'll try and plan something stream specific for next week. Actually, I've already got an idea of what to do for it. I do want to do a new head design for the humans, so maybe I'll save that for next week. I'll just do a couple of standard ones for this week. Community's in shambles. It's in a cake because they laid off 99% of the community team. Oh, I see. Got nominated for Best Community Response from the Jeff Keighley Awards, presented by Jeff Keighley. Sorry, Jeff Keighley, featuring Jeff Keighley. Yep. Yep. I see. They have poured gas on themselves. I have also determined that it is not in the budget for me to get the new Steam Deck, which is a bit of a bummer, but that's the responsible choice, so I'm going to make it. Don't really need it anyway. It's a nice little bump, but it's not life-changing, so. I just wanted a new toy. But then again, I have lots of new toys thanks to the open source stuff, so that urge is kind of satisfied with all my new Linuxy things that I'm doing. And it was all free. Yeah, the Sony buyout. Yes, I do. I remember seeing something posting. Somebody, maybe it was on Kotaku or something, posting something about that. Like this is what the Sony buyout was supposed to prevent, Bungie. But that's welcome to capitalism, right? This is how it works. The shareholders, everybody else is doing layoffs. We need to do layoffs too, right? That's how it works. It's just a school of fish all turning in the same direction at the same time. That's all it is. It's just reactionary nonsense. It has nothing to do with the financial reality. It's just herd mentality. Whatever the worst thing possible to do is what capitalism will do every single time. There's no other path. Oh, he's doing the capitalism thing again. Look at everybody.
Sometimes it's nice and sometimes it's annoying to have Frankie just live in my head and comment on everything. Yeah, well, this is what, like, a lot of people have been talking for a long time about how, like, although people complain about the price of video games, if you look at the conversion rates over years, we're actually not paying that much for video games, and the costs have gone up so much. It's not sustainable. Like, the situation with AAA titles is just not going to last. It can't last. It's not viable. And we're kind of seeing the beginnings of the repercussions of that now, I think. So don't get used to it. You'll all be coming back to Neverwinter at some point, I guarantee you. Just me and the Neverwinter people over in the corner with our little Linux boxes going, they'll be back. Historically adjusted for inflation, video games have almost always cost $90 for a AAA game. Yep, you're right. Sea of Heroes players. Yeah, exactly. All of the user run stuff, man, I'm telling you. This is the future. This is the future of sane people. The Operation Puppet Neverwinter server is still running. I'm telling you. If I had a reason to keep working on it, I'd keep working on it. Grisor, hello, nice to see you. We got some new people today. That's exciting. You've joined us just in time for some exciting hand sewing. Welcome to the Puppet Mines. Next Frankie play should be a Community Heroes, or God, Community Heroes, City of Heroes community server. Go back to 2004 when we first met. You know, we still need to look at that Frankie play EverQuest. I don't think it's going to happen. I think I looked at it or I tried to play it, and it's not even like, it's so alien to everything now that it's just like it's pretty much unplayable for me. Enjoy Hand Sewing Simulator, yeah. Yeah, well, you know, in Deepscape there are like thriving community servers that are quite active for City Heroes. Frank, you should play mine. You know, speaking of self-hosting, there is, not trivial, but it will be quite straightforward and easy to set up our own Minecraft server. Nobody used the Neverwinter server, but maybe they'll use the Minecraft server, huh? It's not the same. Oh no, I know what you're, I know, I'm picking up what you're putting down. I get it. Community-run servers like that always feel a bit off as well. I don't know. It's hard to put into words why they don't feel quite right. Other than things that are intended to be community-run, like, for example, Neverwinter or Minecraft or stuff like that, right? But like, I know there's Star Wars Galaxies community-run servers, for example, and there's, well, all that trouble with the World of Warcraft classic stuff, right? Yeah, I think the problem with the Operation Puppet Neverwinter server is there just wasn't enough stuff there, right? It was just me testing systems. I need to like build it out and make it like a fully fledged world rather than just like a few little things to do. Again, it's just me not having infinite time, right? Got to build the puppets because they're what pay the bills. Everything else got to take back seat to that. Yeah, try to pay the Star Wars Galaxy community server. Didn't work well. Yeah, I know. You know, I wonder if we can get something like that running just for us. I'm going off the deep end here. I can't self-host the entire internet. Stop it, Kevin. I've already gone way further than anything I ever thought I'd do, so it's time to get real. You keep unlimited power, so don't keep die. Yeah, yeah. Our server, our rules, right? That's it. Okay, we are done the finger loops. So what's our time like here? We've got half an hour left. The next thing is to bust out the danger honey and get to gluing some bits together. Oh, you know what? Actually, it's not. The next thing, before I get to that, is actually putting these hand plates together. Okay, let's do that. Or at least start that. Okay, finger loops are done. We're going to go to, we'll start with the top cam, but I suspect we'll be going to the close-up cam pretty soon. Yeah, now WoW Classic is the thing Blizzard wants to pay for. That's the thing, right? It's like, oh, so one of the reasons I'm doing so much of this right now is just because, like, straight up real talk, it's been a bad year for me financially. Like the sales are not there, which I expected, but I have to look at reducing expenses, and you know, not paying $15 a month here and there for 1,000 different things is one of the ways I'm reducing expenses. So if I can self-host stuff, I'm going to do that. Like, I'm not renewing my Microsoft 365 personal subscription, which is only $79 a year, but that's still enough to make me go, well, I'm now self-hosting all of the things that I would ever have done with this. I don't need this anymore. So I can, you know, either save that money or put it towards something like renewing a domain or something that is actually useful, right? So I do have to look at that stuff now. So the whole self-hosting thing for me is also a practical cost-saving thing, right? So. But like the old saying goes, Linux is only free if your time is worth nothing, right? So that's definitely part of it. All right, so what I have to do is start assembling these hand plates. Now they are different left and right, so let me make sure I get the right ones. Here we go, so that's that. And that's that. Okay, so let's see how this is actually gonna work, because this is all new, so excuse me. Let's go to the close-up cam and see if we can. Yeah, that's not too bad. All right, so what I need to do is take our twisted wire here and just measure out the pieces. I also need to get the glue gun ready, because that's how I plan to actually attach these. Is just take a little bit of hot glue and then attach them in like that. Are you going to carve the foam? No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hot glue this. Just a little dab of hot glue that down once it's assembled and ready. And then when I make the sandwich, or the handwich, huh? Right? When we sandwich this all together, we put glue all around the edges, and then we sort of pinch the edges together, and that creates the nice curved contours. But what I do need is the hot glue gun ready to go, so I can anchor these wires in place. Now I have been heating it up. Let's see what state it's in. You ready to go? I think you're ready to go. Yeah, there's some liquid coming out of the end of that. Let's see. Oh, I gotta untangle some wires here. Excuse me. Okay. I'm gonna get something to put under the hot glue gun, like a little little scrap of cardboard or something. Just so I don't get glue all over my work surface. I thought I might carve an oval into the palm for the wire to get glue. I don't really need to do that. This is a little dab of glue. I mean, you remember the hot glue is hot, so it's going to just melt into the foam. So don't really need to do that. Okay, I guess yes, this is correct. All right, so maybe gluing the hand plate down first would be the best way to do this. I think that's a good plan. So that's all I'm gonna do is just a little dab of glue. Bonk, bonk, bonk. And then we're just gonna glue the hand plate down. Like so. And we'll just press it down and let the heat do the thing. And like always with hot glue, you just gotta wait. Can you still hear music, FYI? Because I can't hear it at all, the monitor. Even though the monitor's on, there's so much fan noise in here, I can't hear the music unless I would have turned it up so loud that you'd be able to hear it on the mic, which would be bad. So let me know if you can still hear music. Okay, all I gotta do is make sure that the arm rod socket is the one pointing down, right? That's all. Like so. Just try and make sure the finger holes are all more or less lined up. You can move them around. But I hear it. Sometimes it's fine. Okay. It's there, a bit low in the background. I'll leave it because I reviewed a couple of weeks ago, reviewed the stream, and I thought the music was actually up in the mix a little bit too much for my liking, so personal preference. It's not great music anyway. You don't really miss it. I'm not even sure how to pronounce your username, but hello, Ramanuskeen Ediata. I'm sorry, I butchered that. I'm terribly sorry, but hello, welcome. And please send me the pronunciation of your username so I don't do that again. Okay, so we are going to, I wonder what the best way to do this is. So, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do that. I'm going to get my wire snips. And I'm going to cut these. Oh, this is going to be so good because I can get a really good, precise measurement now. Snip that. And then take some needle nose pliers and just bend the tip over so it's, well, the music is just loud enough so when there's no activity it shows up. See, that's exactly the goal. That's what we want. Oh, you know what? I just realized something. There's another way to do this. Rather than trying to fold this over, because the whole thing is we don't want this sharp, there's a sharp wire bit right at the end where you cut that. You don't want that poking through the foam. Well, there's more than one way to accomplish that. I'm going to trim it down a little bit. And since we've got the hot glue gun sitting here already, we're going to take these little bits of wire and put them in the sharps container. Always be mindful of little sharp bits of metal. What if we just put a little blob of hot glue at the tip of that wire? We could do 3D printed tips, but that's a little excessive. And also, to 3D print something as small as this with a hole, that would be really hard. Cat City Cinema, hey, just joined. Is that just baling wire twisted with a drill? Yeah, well, it's 20 gauge or 18 gauge. Hang on, I can show you. Doesn't say. It must say. It's got to say. Where? Why does it not say? Well, it's steel wire. I think it's 18 or 20 gauge. I don't see it on here. 19 gauge. It says it right there. See, Kevin?
right there, 19 gauge stainless steel wire. And yes, I did twist it. I put one end in the anvil, the other end in a hand drill, and just twist it together. There is video in the archives of me doing that. Good luck finding it. But yes, you are exactly right. That is how I make my twisted wires. But yeah, if I did put a little blob of hot glue on the end there and let that cool, that should be enough. Right? Little blob of hot glue. Now the problem with that is we have to let it cool. So there's time. I don't like the time aspect of that, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm overthinking it. Yeah. I didn't actually glue that in on the other end, did I? No, I did not. So this can actually come out. Haha. Okay, that's already cool enough to touch. We don't actually need to, well, I will anyway. Glue it in. Just to be on the safe side. Just so it all holds together. Here we go. Okay. So yeah, guys, this is the first time I'm using these, so what am I missing? 19 gauge. You can 3D print internal thread. It will follow the twist in the wire. I could. Well, these are a little small for that. The actual gauge of the filament is a little bit too small for that. Okay, yeah. So somewhere, I'm sure Pinecone in their heroic efforts to timestamp some, if not all, of the archives, somewhere in the Livestream archives, you will see lists of timestamps of the things I do. I'm sure it's going to be in one of them. Just go to hunt around. It's not difficult. I will do it again on stream sometime. In fact, I may have to do it soon because I don't think I have enough to finish 2 pairs of hands here. All right, that. So now, that's too long, isn't it? Yes, it is. Trim some of that off. See, I'm just figuring out what the best process for using these little rigs are. I think I'm getting there. I'll find out I'm not fighting transphobes or being delirious. Uh-oh. I hope you're not fighting transphobes on this channel, because let me know. There will be a reckoning. Okay, I think we got it. So I'm going to do all of these, trim them down to just under the end of the finger. Yes, that's the way. This is the way. Come on. Boom. It's fine. Everything's fine. Stop panicking. Check Frankie's office. Uh-oh. Okay. Is this high priority? Should I do that now, Scar? We'll see. You know, I knew that doing the Trans Day Visibility video was gonna flush out some creeps, and sure enough, it did. It's sorted for now. Okay. I feel like maybe I missed something, but that's entirely possible. Okay, there we go. Look at that. Look at how nice that is. So now we're just going to do a little blob
of glue around the tips so we don't have sharp wire poking through. And as the saying goes, Robert is your mother's brother. And that's it. That's it. And then we got to glue the arm rod in, of course. We're going to put those arm rods over here. Now, since I put the heat shrink all the way to the end, I wonder if this socket is. Oh no, that's fine. Oh, that's nice. It actually fits really good. Look at that. Kevin, you inadvertently did a good thing. I guess this was pretty intentional. Actually, it's so good I was having a hard time getting it out. Maybe we don't need glue for that part. Well, okay, you know what I'm gonna do? It's in, let it be in. And we'll just drop a little glue around the outside here. Here we go. See, hot glue has its uses. There we go. This car was talking about a good catch. Oh, did I miss something? I think I missed something. See, I knew it. I had talked to Frankie's office before the stream saying, is anyone gonna be around for mods today? Cause I think there might be some trouble. It's based on the current crop of comments that I'm filtering. Okay. We got it. We got a process now. Look at this. Look at this. This is so nice. So much less work. Once again, Indies Keep. Thank you for the introduction to 3D printing. It has made my life palpably easier. Does Kevin like? No, Kevin does not like hands. This is all making it less annoying. This isn't making it nice. Okay, this is all reducing negative, not having it be a positive. There's a difference. Oh, this is so good. This is so good. Ain't never made hands as easy as this before. Or as quick. Oops. Ah. Don't glue yourself to the hand, Kevin. That's not a long-term goal. Never glue yourself to a puppet. Not even the good ones. Well, no, it's not going to poke through because the next step is we put a little dab of hot glue on the tips here, and that seals them off. But yes, you are good thinking to think about that. That is important. All right, so once we've got them all seated, we make sure that they're laying nicely. And now we add a little, actually let's get this one thumb is a little bit off. Here we go. Oh no, the 3D printed caps would be okay. Oh, you mean like the whole finger? Like the whole... Do you mean the whole finger? Because I was thinking you were thinking just a little cap that goes over the wire, which should probably be too small, but you're right about the whole finger thing. Yeah, I was thinking about that actually. for it would be easier to put the skin on with a cap like that. So yeah, that might be on the agenda for the future. So this is what we do, just a little blob of glue on the end of each finger. And then we're just gonna hold it in place, let the glue set up a little bit. Yes, that was totally my idea, yeah. Yeah, well the thing about like, the caps would be about the size of these sockets, and these don't print well. These are good enough for this because this is all gonna be glued together anyway. But I'm a little bit concerned about, you could get rubber caps for cheaper than use the printer. You know what, that's probably true. I'll bet you we could find something that we could just stick on the ends there. You know, you're right, you're absolutely right. It would be worth doing. Although I think the hot glue is gonna work just as well too, so. You know, the hot glue is here, little rubber caps are not. So we're gonna go with what's in front of us. But you're right, for the future, a more refined version of this, absolutely. There we go. Let's get another arm rod here. That glue is not set yet. I'm getting it all over me. That's fine. Hot glue gonna hook up the air compressor. See how often it says, oh yeah, though the webs, there are lots of webs. We got some webs. Miles Morales ain't got nothing on me. Here we go. Arm rod in. It is so nice. Oh. It is so nice. Finally. Hands that don't drive you nuts to make them. Look at this. It is so good. All right, it's 12:53, so we're nearly at time. I can keep going, but I would have to get into a whole new thing. But that's great. This is going to work really well. Look at how nice those look. Ah. JB, we'll do the caps, don't worry. Your suggestion has been brought on board and will be entertained in due course. I don't know what the corporate speak for that is. Yes, no, you're right. The caps are a good idea. Also, I use hot glue for this anyway, just because it's convenient, and the cyanoacrylate glue is actually kind of a bit of a pain to work with in this context, and also the hot glue actually has some flex, whereas super glue does not, and you want flex in hand, so there are reasons to not use cyanoacrylate in this context. But you're not wrong, it would absolutely work. Oh boy, woo! Yes, thank you for the Discord link, Scarlett. Okay, we did it. We're back. We're in it. We got it going on. Let's look at how's the 3D? The 3D printer is printing mouth plates. Yes. No transphobes on the channel ever, period. It will do you no good. You have no power here. Because you are hateful people and we don't like you, so go away. Anyway, I got some stuff to check on in Frankie's office apparently. So Frankie, get ready, because you get your loins girded. I'm girding a lot of loins today. I've used that expression multiple times today, and I'm a little disturbed about it. But anyway, whew, okay, we did it. We're back in it. Next week, we will plan something special for the stream. We're going to design a new head shape for the humans. That's what we're going to do next week, for sure. So yeah, I'm going to go and have some lunch and see what kind of administration work needs to be done in Frankie's office. But anyway, thank you everybody for joining. We're back. We're live streaming. I'm in pain,
because of teeth, and teeth are stupid and we hate them. But nevertheless, I'm back for you. I don't know, marketing. Anyway, I'm gonna go have some lunch. Have a good day, everybody, and I will see y'all in the Discord.